In Brussels this morning, the leaders of the EU27 are expected to agree that sufficient progress has been made in the Brexit talks for negotiations to move to our future trading relationship. Now the hard work starts. The first and most significant hurdle is for the cabinet to decide what sort of trade deal it wants. At the heart of the debate is whether we pursue the plans of the purist Brexiteers or the plans of moderate Brexiteers. The purists are driven by far more than sentimental yearnings to regain sovereignty. This is a political project which wants the UK to abandon the social model that has underpinned most European economies for the last 70 years and reinvent ourselves as low-regulation, small-state economy closer to the US Republican mode. This ambition has always underpinned Brexit thinking but has been deliberately camouflaged to avoid alienating the voters they needed to win the EU referendum. Only now, when a decision has to be made, are they having to come clean about the consequences of their ideological course, a UK which they believe can only be economically competitive if we surrender hard-won workers' rights, cut taxes which fund public services and leave firms at the mercy of international forces. The moderate Brexiteers, aware of the political repercussions, are looking for a compromise that sees the UK align with EU rules and regulations to maintain our trading base. Whichever course we choose, Britain is going to struggle to strike a free trade deal with Brussels that includes financial services, the largest sector of our economy. EU officials close to the negotiations are blunt about this. Financial services will not be on the table, they say. This demolishes David Davis's hope of a Canadian-style deal plus. Few expect the cabinet divisions to be resolved quickly. Mrs May is also reported to have backed away from plans to write the Brexit date into law in the face of another Tory revolt. The idea of setting a fixed leaving date was gimmick designed to appease the right-wing press but had little bearing on the reality of negotiations which often overrun their scheduled time frame. As others have pointed out, the Good Friday Agreement would never have been delivered if there had been a set deadline. The Jo Cox Commission launches its report on loneliness today with a call for a minister to be appointed to tackle what it describes as a social epidemic. It speaks volumes about the late MP's empathetic character that she was one of the first to champion an issue which was staring us in the face but rarely mentioned. The Brexiteer right may also want to dwell on Jo's mantra about people having more in common. The vitriol and poison directed at the Conservative MPs who rebelled this week is deeply unpleasant and has led some of them receiving death threats. The latest claim is their actions have made it more likely that a Marxist Jeremy Corbyn will assume power. I appreciate some Brexiteers struggle with irony, but the cast-iron way of preventing a Marxist government is to remain in the EU and abide by the rules of the Lisbon Treaty. We have recorded a new podcast. Do listen to me, Kevin Maguire, Alison Phillips and Mikey Smith give our review of the political year.